this is Dr. Eric with ICE Clinics bringing you your next tip for Tuesday. And tonight we are going to do a little bit of tip on how we hold our smartphones. We've talked about this before. We talked about the repetitive use of our thumbs and how that's not necessarily healthy for those tendons deep in the thumb right through there. It can cause a lot of tendonitis or even trigger finger. So remember that. We don't want to be on our phones too much and constantly scrolling. It's okay to use your index finger and swipe or even like a keyboard. But tonight what I want to talk about is specifically how we're holding our phones and the dreaded smartphone pinky. You can kind of see a lot of us when we're on the phone, we have our pinky curled under like that. Now normally I'm right-handed, so I'd probably use it on my right hand. But for the example of the tip for Tuesday, let's use our left hand right here. So if we're holding our phone like this and we take the phone away, what's our pinky doing right there? Notice how it's curled under like that. If we're constantly curled under like that, we're putting a lot of stress, similar to like we are with the thumb in our previous tip that I'd mentioned. We're putting a lot of stress on those tendons and even on those ligaments through there. Now let's talk a little bit bigger picture working up the arm here. If you were to take your wrist and you were to slice it down the middle and look up, don't do that, but if you were to slice it down and look up what's going on in the wrist, you've got two major nerves in the wrist. You got your median nerve smack dab in the middle, which is primarily responsible for a lot of the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome, but you also have your ulnar nerve right out here on the back. Now, Dr. Kyle and myself were talking about this recently. We're noticing a lot of people who are spending a lot more time on their smartphone, holding it with their pinky like that or on other tablets or smart devices. But what they're noticing is a lot of pain and fatigue on the outside of the wrist right here, primarily where that ulnar nerve is. Now, do we know that there's a direct cause between holding your pinky like that and there? The research doesn't necessarily say that, but it is a bit of a more common trend. And we start thinking about where that ulnar nerve comes from, all the way up on the inside of your elbow, right through here. You notice that sometimes people with the wrist pain right through here of holding their phone for a long time are starting to notice pain in their elbow as well. So it's a really curious observation that we're starting to make, but the more that we hold our phone like this, the more stress we're putting on that pinky, the associated tendons and ligaments, and even on the outside of the wrist right there too. So mix it up a little bit. Try not to hold your phone for very long. Obviously, we don't want to be on our phones too long as it is, but mix it up. Switch hands, hold it from the side like that, use the opposite finger to scroll, or turn it on its side and use your thumbs kind of like a video game controller. But again, moderation in all things. So that's our tip for Tuesday tonight. Beware of how you're holding your phone, especially with that smartphone pinky. I'm Dr. Eric. This is ICE Clinics. Thank you for watching.